Hello and welcome to the Drummergy podcast, episode 192.
Woohoo!
Can you believe that? I have the applause ready to go this time. Yes, welcome to the show and welcome our guest all the way from Nashville, Tennessee, Mr. Brice Williams.
Hello.
Brice,
thank you for having me.
Yeah, man. So cool to have you on. We got lots to talk about. We had a lot that we were talking about before we even went live, and I'm like, oh, this is a really good stuff. We should be live right now. That would be really cool. That would be so awesome. We were talking right before we hit live about some of the longest tour bus rides home, and one of those for Brice, he said, all the way from Los Angeles back to Nashville after a show. How many hours did you say that was?
Oh, it was
32.
No. That one was the one north of Salt. We played in. It's north of Salt Lake City.
Mary,
you
like Ogden? Were you in Ogden?
It might have been Ogden. You know what? I can tell you where it was because I still have my day sheet.
Well,
well, I'm the one that did the day sheet, so I still have the day sheets.
Okay, that makes sense.
That was, where were we? We were in, I think that was 2022. No, it must have been 23. Anyways, it was like 32 hours coming home.
Wow.
Jeez.
Yeah.
Does the driver have to stop in that 32 hours somewhere?
So,
or do you take over
they
driving?
They have to switch drive.
No, I don't drive. No, I don't drive. So the way it works is Department of Transportation that you can only drive 10 hours, and then you have to have an 8-hour reset. So on long runs like that, we have to have a reserve driver, and our primary will drive for 10 hours, and if we're still not there, then the co-driver jumps in, and then he'll drive. And if we're still not there, at the end of his 10 hours, the primary driver has reset his clock he only takes 8 hours to reset your clock, and then he'll jump back in. We did a show in South Dakota about a month ago, and it was a 25-hour bus ride. So we started with our primary, went to the co-driver through the middle of the night, and the next day went back to the primary again just to get there. I mean, it's
wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
But
hey,
and there are certain times that flying is better.
Yeah.
But you always have to take into consideration, one, what's the closest airport you can fly into? And if you're like us, we only fly usually 2 airlines. It's either Delta or Southwest. And then is backline available? Is production available? Where's the hotel? All of this. So a lot of times, if you're on a bus, I consider bus home base, where we have basically everything with us. We're not having to backline anything. The only thing I really have to do is find a couple cleanup rooms for drivers, and maybe an extra one for the band if there's not something there close to the venue. So,
wow,
it's like a lot goes into it. It's constantly moving parts, basically.
Yeah, I'm sure. Well, we'll dive deep in a moment to your tour manager responsibilities. But James Harrison is here. He says, "Greetings, guys."
Hello, James.
James is a regular participant on the show. I've been doing this show, Brice, for almost 4 years, and I think James has logged on and watched every single episode.
Wow.
Awesome.
Way to go.
Yeah.
James is a superstar.
He is a superstar. So James and I we met in person for the first time a few weeks ago at the Nashville Drum Show.
Yeah.
Nice.
Conversing for years on email and phone calls and everything else. And I saw him and went up to him and I said, "James, Brice Williams." And it was good to meet him in person. So good guy.
Really great guy. That's actually how you and I connected to begin with, because you were in town with Mark Wills at Stoney's, and I was in the opening band, and I had made a post, and James saw that, and he said, "Oh, you should go say hi to Brice, the drummer." And so I immediately got up, and you were sitting behind your drums, and we talked about Vader drumsticks for a moment right there.
Yeah.
And so check this out. So here's a picture of Brice with his Vader drumsticks, right? And here's me with my Vader drumsticks. He's got him. Look at that. Boom. There we go, baby, right?
Got him. Love him. You know what? I grew up playing Vader. And I did. And, you know, when you're a kid in a small town in Illinois where I'm from, you're kind of at the mercy of what the local music stores have.
Yeah.
Sure.
And, you know, they had some other brands there. You know, they had, you know, the Zildjian brands and the ProMark. Right. And it wasn't until I saw and got to meet probably my biggest influence I ever had his name is Brian Prout. And he was with Diamond Rio, drummer for Diamond Rio. Very, very well-known country group. And Brian, after a show, I convinced him. I was in the fan club, and I went through the meet and greet line, and I got to meet him. And it was a show where it was a 2-show day. And every once in a while, artists will have 2-show days. Mm-hmm. I went to the early show, and I said, and I'm 15. I'm just like, Mr. Prout, you know, I love your drum kit. I'd love to see it. You know, would you be able to take me on stage and show it to me? And he's like, yeah, let's go. So we ran real quick back onto the stage, and I got to see his drums. I took pictures of it and everything. And he handed me some sticks, and the sticks he handed me were Vader.
Nice.
And it stuck with me from there. And I immediately went home and begged my parents, hey, and you know, we had the mail order catalogs coming as well. I think Drums in the Wind was one. They were out of South Bend, Indiana, kind of close to where Sweetwater is now. Okay. But I ordered some Vader drumsticks in 1995. And yeah, like I said, you know, the older I get, it's like I go back to things I love and things I grew up with. And you know, the opportunity arose a few years ago for me to go back to playing Vader. And so, but yeah.
I played a different brand of stick for a long time. I'm really brand loyal, you know, because you have stuff that works. Yeah. And I went into Guitar Center, and they were out. And my choices were Vader or Vic Firth. And I was like, well, I've never tried these Vader sticks before. And another drummer in town was a big Vader fan. He goes, if you buy those, you'll never buy anything else.
Yeah.
And I said, okay. And at that time, Brice, I was playing 2B wood tip sticks. Ooh. And yeah, I liked breaking things, I guess. But I bought those sticks, and one pair of sticks lasted the whole show. And I was like, this is incredible, because I would go through a couple pair of sticks a show.
Yeah.
And so just like from a durability perspective, I was like, oh, wow. And I mean, they felt great. And since then, I've moved to 5B sticks.
That's yep.
Yeah. I saw that in that picture, and I'm like, okay, we use the exact same model stick, which is awesome. But I could feel like that, to me, that's like the jack of all trades size drumstick, because I can play just about anything with that stick.
For the longest time, I played close to and again, Brian handed me his sticks. And they were custom, had his signature on them, and they had the Vader logo on them. And they didn't say the size on it. And I thought, okay. So I said, what size are these? And he said, Pro Rock, which Vader makes a Pro Rock. So that's what I ordered when I started playing. And then when I college, you know, I started getting some different sizes, you know, for different things with jazz groups and so on and so forth. But I always stayed around a 5A in grip, which is what the Pro Rock was. And then a couple years ago, I had bilateral carpal tunnel surgery a couple years ago.
Ooh.
And yeah, I started having problems during COVID is when I started having, and I thought it was just getting older and need to stretch more and whatever. Because I've always had really pretty good technique, and the whole thing, if you got good technique, you shouldn't get carpal tunnel.
Right.
No, you'll still get it. Said that to my surgeon. He said, still get it. He said, if you hit things long enough, you're going to get it. So after the surgery, the 5A just didn't feel right anymore. So that's when I started going through and trying to find what other, I tried a fusion. The fusion is better, but it wasn't quite there. And the 5B worked. And, the close second are these. And I love these too. Have you tried the Vinnies yet?
I have not. I think I have a pair in my closet over there, but I've never unwrapped them.
They're very close, close, and they feel good. So, but it's primarily 5B, but every once in a while I'll pull out a pair of the Vinnies and use those because they are very, very close. So,
well,
but yeah.
You mentioned, James says Brice has incredible technique.
Ooh.
Look at that. That's a ringing endorsement right there.
Thank you, James. Gosh.
That's awesome. Well, you mentioned your local music store, and Mary, we should mention our local music store.
That's right.
The Drummergy podcast is brought to you by 12th Fret Music. Wow, we didn't even plan that.
In unison.
All together now.
12th Fret Music, located
at 671 South Capitol Boulevard in downtown Boise, Idaho. And look at that model. That's a handsome guy right there.
Rocking the shades.
That's right. And Brice, check this out. 12th Fret Music is home to the largest guitar amp in the world. Are you ready for this? 64 412 Marshall cabinets.
We don't have enough room on our trailer for that.
I don't think Kiss doesn't even have enough room on their trailer. For that.
Maybe
you're gonna need a bigger semi for that.
Yes.
Yeah. You're gonna need a bigger boat.
That's where I was getting that from. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. So,
wow.
And not only does 12th Fret Music sponsor the show, they are now carrying Vader drumsticks. And Aquarian drumheads.
It's true.
Yes.
This is a fact.
Very good.
So it's no longer just a guitar store.
Yeah.
So that's pretty awesome.
Very good.
Yeah. So they're the only music store downtown. So they're by, there used to be Dunkley's, but they moved out to Eagle Road. So they've got Tree Fort and the Knitting Factory and all sorts of other clubs that are just all right down there. That
there's
any
like
sort
7
of
or 8
touring
videos
acts
that
coming
are
through.
Just
can run over and grab
it.
strings, or if they run out of supplies or whatever, they can run over there.
Yeah,
and maybe check out the vintage guitars.
Wow, I love going to mom and pop stores. I love it.
They're great.
They're the best.
They're the best. So normally I start the show off, Brice, with Goofy Holidays, and you mentioned also getting a catalog to order your Vader sticks through.
Oh no, is it National Catalog Day?
Dude, it totally is today. I'm not making this up. This is what Google said. Okay. Now today is mail order catalog day. And it began with Montgomery Ward catalog.
Montgomery Ward,
on August 18th of 1872.
Wow.
Can you believe that?
And so that catalog was probably sitting at the local like mercantile. I just picture a little house on the prairie, and you got what was his name? Was it Nels Olson?
Oh, Nels Olson, yes.
him with his little catalog, and the people coming in to order something.
Yeah. Now,
the Sears catalog was pretty popular.
Now, I remember my grandparents getting the Montgomery Ward catalog as a kid.
Wow.
And it would be like in November.
Oh,
and my sisters and I would comb those pages meticulously looking for what we were going to put on our Christmas list.
Yeah, we used to get the Sears, and then we also used J.C. Penney.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the Christmas, it was like October, November when we would get it. The Christmas wish book or something, and my sister and I both would be flipping through it when we were younger, going, "Ooh, I like this," and circle this and this. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Simpler times.
I started getting one in the mail recently that was for toys.
You did?
And and I just quickly throw it in the trash so nobody sees it. But because I usually know what they want, but I can't remember who it's from. It might be like Amazon or something. Like, oh, here you might be interested in this stuff. Oh.
I think Target does something similar to that. I want to think it's Target. Because we've kind of moved beyond the toys with both my kids to
we have a 13-year-old, so he's in that toys aren't like right now he's saving up to buy an Apple Watch.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's the electronics and the gizmos and the gadgets, all the other stuff that everybody seems to want now, including adults. So
Yes. Yes.
And like for his birthday, his birthday was earlier this month, and he wanted a telescope. And what else did we get him? It was
a new phone case.
Oh, a phone case, a telescope, a phone case, and then I got him a bike because he's never had his own bike.
Well, yeah, he got a new bicycle, so
one that fits him.
Yeah, so it's catalog day.
Yeah, wow.
And there's always food. Food is always involved in national something. It's National Fajita Day.
Oh, Jared was just talking about fajitas the other day.
So there you go with that. It's also National Ice Cream Pie Day.
Ice cream pie.
Now, Brice, do you have a sweet tooth? That sounds like a no.
Maybe. You know what? There are two sweets that I will not pass up. Other than that, I'm not a candy guy. I don't do candy bars very much, unless it's maybe just a Hershey bar. I'm very plain. But I do like chocolate chip cookies, and I do like mint chocolate chip ice cream.
Yep. There you go.
Those are if I see a chocolate chip cookie, which most of the time catering has a chocolate chip cookie.
Yeah.
I had one in, where were we the other day? We were in New York. I was in Buffalo the other day, and catering had very nice looking chocolate chip cookies. So I not only had one, I had to sample a second one. So
yes. I think chocolate chip cookies are standard issue in catering.
Yeah, I would think, because the Sapphire Room at the Riverside Hotel, they always give, in the green room, they have nice, big, thick chocolate chip cookies that you can't pass up.
Yeah.
And I feel like there's something, I feel like they get some sort of a batch of like dough, because they look exactly the same.
Mm-hmm.
So like they're probably already portioned and everything, and they just throw them in the oven or something, but they're really good.
And today is also Never Give Up Day.
Oh,
so don't ever give up, people.
Well, and that's kind of special because today is Abby's first day of nail tech school. So Abby is our son's girlfriend. They've been dating for 3 years, and she just graduated high school this past spring, and now she's going to become a nail technician.
Yes.
So she's starting school today.
Well, congratulations to Abby.
Yay.
Okay, so that's all the goofy holidays, and I've got to catch up on a couple comments here.
Oh,
James says the Vinny stick, it has a slight swell in the neck between the grip and the taper.
Mm-hmm.
So Brice had one right there in his hands. I think I have a brand new pair in the cabinet, but I've never unwrapped them.
Oh.
Every once in a while, Brandolini will pop on here, depending on who's on. So we might see Chad pop up.
Okay.
But, every once in a while, I'll say, "Hey, Chad, do you have any samples of something you can send me?" And he'll send me something.
Yeah.
So there we go. Chris Parks is here, and he said his first drum set came from the JCPenney Christmas catalog.
Wow.
Now, Chris, was that a legitimate drum set? Right?
Wouldn't have known.
Say that again.
I wonder if it was a legitimate drum set.
He got a drum set from did you say JCPenney's catalog?
Yeah. I mean, that would be like the equivalent of the Hello Kitty drum set today, probably.
No.
Right?
Yeah.
So, Brice, you have like this really great resume, this body of work. And if I may, I want to read a little bit of your bio. So people watching and listening have a little bit of idea of what's going on here. Oh, Chris Park says we use the term drum set loosely. It was garbage.
Aw.
Sensonic's brand.
Oh, wow.
I told you it was like Hello Kitty.
First act.
Hey, my first one was a Smurf drum set.
No way. Do you still have that?
I don't. That was my first one. It had paper head, and I remember that I beat the heads. I broke the heads, and then my parents ended up finding a way to turn the drums over, and then I broke those, and then they just ended up duct tape all across, and I'd hit the duct tape until I got like an actual real drum set, my first real drum set. So, but yeah, Smurf.
Dude.
Smurf, that's awesome.
Smurf.
Well, I don't think you could add it to but I'm curious if you could find a picture of it.
Oh.
Smurf drum set?
Yeah. The Smurf drum set. Okay, so Brice is from Illinois, as most people are. It seems like lately a lot of the people I've had on the show are from like Illinois, Indiana, Wisconsin, Michigan, or Minnesota.
Well, Dango would have been.
He's from where?
Dango's from Wisconsin.
Yes.
Oh.
See, there we go. Started drumming at 4 on a Smurf drum set, I'm assuming.
Yep.
Smurf drum set.
You know, Brice and I both teach drum lessons. Do you teach kids?
Yes.
Do you have any 4-year-olds?
4-year-olds?
Not currently.
Yeah.
And honestly, and you know this, every once in a while you'll find a 4-year-old that actually is ready and start grasping things.
Yeah.
I have a student now. He is starting his sophomore year of high school, and he started when he was 4, and he has been with me ever since.
Wow.
So,
nice.
But he's one of the few. Usually for me, 6 is the age that most of them usually start at. But and I've had to turn parents away, and I'm not going to be that teacher that just, I want the money, or I want, so many students, or this or that or whatever. No, if they're ready, they're ready. If not, they're not. And if they're not ready, if they're still interested, come see me in 6 months. Come see me in a year. We'll see if they're ready to go then. So,
it's a good policy. I've had to do the same where I did have a 4-year-old try once, and she just cried the whole time and just was clinging to her mom. And I'm like, okay, well,
this isn't working.
This is not going to happen. But I have a contract that all my students sign with me, but I've loosened up on that with anybody that's under 10, because you just never know if they're going to be actually engaged and interested in it or not, or if it's just like a babysitting thing.
Yeah, and because I've taught both privately from home.
Yeah.
And I've also taught at schools, and I still teach it through a school. And I've taught at music stores and so on and so forth. And, I'm a little bit more strict, I guess you would say, with how I do things when it's obviously just me here. But if I'm having to go through someplace else, I got to follow their policies. But, I require mine here. If you're going to do this, we're going to do it the right way. And we're not going to, we're going to have fun, but we're going to learn, and we're going to learn at the same time. So as opposed to, like you said, sometimes, and there have been some occasions where I feel like I'm a babysitter.
Yeah, exactly.
That's not what I'm there to do. So every once in a while, but luckily that hasn't happened here recently. So
We have a grocery store we have a grocery store that's like a mile and a half down the road. And so sometimes parents drop off their kid and then they go to the grocery store.
That's not a bad idea.
And sometimes within that half hour, I'm like, where are your parents?
Especially if late and your next student is here and the student you just finished with is still standing here.
Yeah.
Well, I've got like a little lobby area outside the studio so that they can wait, so they don't have to be outside on their own or anything.
Yeah.
They have to just wait right there. But
so Fred, I sent you on your phone. Look at your text message. I sent you a picture to share.
Oh,
I don't know how to do it. It won't let me put pictures in the chat, but I found what he's talking about.
Oh, let me see if I can make this happen here. Okay, well,
I thought you just show it on your phone. But...
Oh. Well, let's see if we can make that happen. Let's see here. Maybe. Everything I'm doing is backwards.
That's it. You know, I've got a picture of it someplace. I do.
Do you?
But that's it. That's it.
Wow. Now that had to be like the best day of your life, though.
Maybe 3 when I got it. I had it for a year. I remember that because I got my first real drum set when I was 4. And it was a Rogers kit.
Oh, wow.
Not Rogers like today. It was, so I think Yamaha purchased Rogers back in the 70s or early 80s, something like that. It was not a great kit. It had pre-tuned heads on it. If you remember those drums that had the pre-tuned heads, you just put the head on, like clipped it on.
Yeah.
So, but it lasted me till I got my first Pearl kit. So I had the Rogers kit from like 4 till 11, and that's when I got my first Pearl kit. It was 11, and
wow.
Yeah. So, and Pearl has well here.
Oh, there you go.
So there you go. So yeah,
that's one of Brice's other endorsements is with Pearl drums.
Yep.
Pearl drums. All right. Well, I started reading your bio. So in high school, Brice was ranked one of 2 top jazz drummers by Illinois Music Education Association.
Nice job.
Thank you.
Now, tell us about that, Brice. That sounds like a pretty solid feather in your cap at that point.
So my junior year, IMEA, I think it's called ILMEA now, but IMEA, Illinois Music Educators Association, they would have district jazz fests, and then they would basically have the All-State Jazz Fest in January. Well, I got a perfect score on my audition when I was a junior, but somebody else did who is a senior. So just because of seniority, they got to go when I was a junior. So same kind of thing happened here. I got a perfect score on it, and I did the District 6 Jazz Fest, which is in Southern Illinois, where I'm from, and I don't know, maybe a week after that, I got word that I was selected for All-State, and then you have to audition again when you get to All-State, and they picked back then, 1998. They put you in 3 bands at All-State. You're either in the All-State Big Band, the All-State Combo, or the All-State Honors Big Band. And I was in the Honors Big Band.
Wow.
So
nice.
That's pretty cool stuff right there, especially in high school. And then let's see, you ended up moving to Tennessee, I'm assuming, and went to Belmont.
Yep.
Is that where you met Dango? We had Dango on a few weeks ago.
Yeah.
Is that where you guys met at Belmont?
Yep.
Nice.
Yeah. I got there the year before he did.
Okay.
But yeah, he and I, oh my gosh. I mean, we'd been friends ever since Belmont. And I tell him this all the time. I'm his biggest fan. I love his posts. I love watching his videos. and you will not meet a better drummer, or more than that, a more solid person than Dango. Love him.
Yeah.
Always have.
I haven't met him in person, but we might remedy that because Mary and I are going to Nashville in September.
Yay!
The 18th through the 23rd. Is that correct? Their producer?
We'll arrive on the 18th. We're taking the red eye on the 17th. But
yeah.
Coming back on Wednesday. Yeah.
18th. Okay. Well, you'll have to call me when you're here too.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because I'm looking at my calendar now. You said the 18th through the 23rd?
Yeah, so we'll be there Friday morning, like at 8 or so.
I will be on my way to Connecticut. And then I have a show in Connecticut on the 19th and a show in Maryland on the 20th, and then I will be home on the 21st. So you should act when you're here on either the Monday, Tuesday, or the Wednesday before you go. So, and
we leave Wednesday like late in the day, so we have most of the day to hang out too.
Yeah, it's our 30-year anniversary.
Yeah,
congratulations!
30 years, and we just recently I saw this meme that said something about the it's this comedian guy. He's bald. He's probably in his mid 50s or something, but he was talking about going to marriage counseling. He's like, we discovered that when you wake up in the morning, you should say, I love you, not you again.
Yeah. I thought you again was really funny. So now I want to say that. Oh, I you know. Again. Why does this keep happening?
Wow.
It's like Groundhog Day. Every morning I see your face.
Brice, you should try that out some morning and let me know how it works out for you.
Yeah, I'll pass on that. So.
He's a smart man, Fred.
I know. I like to live dangerously. That's what happens here. But all right, so you've worked with all of these incredible musicians. Lady Antebellum.
Whoa.
Mark Wills, which is how we met. Wade Hayes, Brian White, Luke Bryan, Sarah Evans, Sawyer Brown, Charlie Pride.
Wow.
Jamie O'Neill, Andy Griggs. Is that all? No. Daryl Singletary, Johnny Lee, Jamie Floyd, Josh Kelly, Tyler Hilton, Kevin Sharp, Brian McCombs, Linda Davis, Cowboy Crush, High Road, and the Nashville Praise Symphony.
The Nashville Praise Symphony, I was filling in for Chester Thompson on that one. So,
wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
And some of these like Sarah Evans. So yes. I started. I was never the permanent guy with Sarah. I was the fill-in guy, but I was the fill-in guy over like several years. Her drummer Jim Bloodgood, who is still there with Sarah. I first filled in for him in Lady A was just getting started, so this was probably 2007 when I filled in for Jim, and I filled in for Jim for years after that. So yeah, that's like how that one came. The Sawyer Brown, my friend Joe Smith, who is Sawyer Brown's drummer, same thing, filling in for him. Yeah, but I'm like, Sawyer Brown, I grew up listening to them. I mean, yeah, it was cool. But yeah, that's how some of those were. But yeah, Wade Hayes, I still will do dates with Wade. Matter of fact, last one I did with him was last year. Wade and Brian White did a package tour with Mark probably 10 or 12 years ago. And Mark's band played for all three of them. So it was cool. Oh, wow. I got to play Mark's songs, I got to play Wade songs, and I got to play Brian's songs all on the same show.
Nice.
And the three guys stayed on stage all together. And, you know, that was... Mark has done a few package tours. We haven't done one recently, but back when I first got started with him, that's how the Jamie O'Neill thing happened. He did a package thing with Jamie. He did a package thing with Daryl Singletary and Andy Griggs, and you know, it's kind of the same thing. I played drums for all of them, so it was that one was cool. But yeah, the Wade and the Brian one was really cool. because I was a big Wade Hayes fan growing up. I was a big Brian White fan growing up, and it was cool to count the songs off and hear them in my ears and look up. Oh, there they are. No, that was
yeah. That's I always think the drummer seat is definitely the best seat in the house.
I would agree with that.
Definitely the best seat in the house. So continuing down your list, you played on Lady Antebellum's self-titled album, which debuted at #1 on Billboard's country album charts, #4 on Billboard pop charts.
Wow.
And the first single, Love Don't Live Here, which reached #3 on Billboard's country charts, nominated for Best Country Performance by a Duo or a Group.
Wow.
2009 Grammy Awards, Brice played with Lady Antebellum on the 2008 AT&T Summer Olympic Games soundtrack.
Wow.
Lady A's Christmas release in 2009 of Baby It's Cold Outside. And in 2012, I keep wanting to read that as 2112. In 2012, on the soundtrack for the hit movie Act of Valor.
Oh. Wow.
Dude.
That's a lot. It's a lot of cool stuff.
Yes. You got this incredible resume. Like, did that all start happening as you were going to Belmont, or does having a music degree, I'm assuming you got a music degree, right? Since you went to school? No? This is why you've had all the success.
You've had all the success. I didn't finish.
I noticed that the people that don't have a music degree seem to have a bigger resume than the people that do.
Oh, careful.
Don't hate me, people. Don't hate me.
This is, I went to Belmont. I like I said, moved here after high school, started Belmont. I can honestly say this. I've thought about this before. Every gig that I've gotten, whether it is a fill-in sub date, whether it is the regular road guy, whether it's, session, whatever, I got through someone I met at Belmont.
Oh, wow.
Every single one.
Wow.
The Lady A thing. Lady A happened. My buddy, Jonathan Long, and I were both in the country ensemble at Belmont, Southbound. And we were also both in the big band at Belmont. Great friends. Me, him, and my other friend, Dennis, who plays bass. And the three of us just kind of always got each other on gigs. And we're always playing together and always hanging out. And Jonathan ended up playing a random gig. And I think the girl's, I'm trying to remember the girl's name he played with. I think her name was Lori, her first name. And he played the gig, and Dave Haywood from Lady A was also on that gig. Dave was playing acoustic guitar for this girl. And Dave and Jonathan started talking. And it got to, hey, my buddy Charles and I both moved to Nashville recently. And, we've written a bunch of songs. And we met this girl. Her name is Hillary Scott. And we're trying to put a band together to go and maybe do something at 3rd and Lindsley, which is where Lady A got started here in Nashville. And then he said, Charles's brother, Josh Kelly, we're going to go maybe do a couple shows with him. So we're trying to put a band together. Do you know a drummer and bass player? And he's like, I got you. And that was it. That was how it started. And, I can look back, even the Mark Wills gig that I've had now for over 15 years came about through Kevin Key, who's a guitar player that I met at Belmont. I mean, it's Belmont. My mother still to this day wishes I had that piece of paper on the wall. Still to this day, and it's a sore subject. But my dad said Belmont did what Belmont was supposed to do for him. It was a networking thing. It was meeting this person, meeting that person. And does it mean that something's going to happen immediately? No, it took a while. I mean, and still to this day, looking back, I mean, yeah, it's like anything else. You've got good gigs, you've got bad gigs. There were some bad ones in there, but you got to do the bad ones to get to the good ones.
Yeah.
But you know, I that is the thing with me with Belmont. Belmont did what it was supposed to do for me. I have one of my students that is starting Belmont this week as a drummer.
Wow.
He's been with me the last couple of years.
Yeah.
And you know, he's great young player. And but yeah, Belmont's great. Don't get me wrong. It really is. And the level of, you know, the teachers there, which when I was there, Todd London did all of my classical percussion stuff, and I did 2 years of that. And I studied with both Brian Folan and Chester Thompson, both at Belmont on drum set. Yeah. And I still to this day, I mean, I grew up doing drum corps stuff, so the rudiments and the snare drums, that was no issue for me.
Sure.
I am not a mallet guy. I am not
Neither
a mallet.
am
I am not. If you want mallets, then go with God and find somebody else, because I cannot do mallets. And I think that I wonder sometimes how I passed my sophomore technical, because you had to do, and again, I don't know how it is now because it's changed so much, but back then I did 2 years of classical percussion. And at the end of my sophomore year, I had to pass my sophomore technical to put it completely behind me and go to nothing but just drum set.
Mm-hmm.
And
wow.
I remember I had to do a 2 mallet piece and I had to do a 4 mallet piece.
Oh.
The 2 mallet piece, I actually did better on the 4 mallet piece than I did the 2 mallet piece. Because on the 4 mallet piece, my one hand in my lower register just did this between 2 notes. And I'm like, okay, so I can focus on this. Yeah, the 2 mallet piece, I was like all over the marimba. And I remember thinking, oh God, I'm not going to pass this. I'm not going to pass this. And I did. So, yeah. You know, I sometimes think that maybe Todd thought, all right, Brice is a drum set guy. Let's just pass him and get him out of here. So, and I don't know that, but I've always thought maybe Todd thought that. I don't know. Because I was terrible at mallets. And you know, we had a few mallet guys there that were just really, really good mallet players. And watching them, I mean, just like, oh my God, I'm never going to be able to do that. You know?
Yeah.
So, but yeah, you know, Belmont, I didn't finish. I ended up getting the Kevin Sharp gig while I was at Belmont. And I actually had a teacher. So, and I'm not going to say the teacher's name because he's still there. And it wasn't a drum teacher. It wasn't that. He actually asked me a question one day in rehearsal. He's like, "Why are you still here?" Because he knew that I got in the Kevin Sharp gig.
Oh yeah.
Just, you know, he's like, "You don't need to be here. You're already doing it here." And you know, you know, looking back, 22 years old, why? He said, I don't need to be here. Okay, well, I guess, you know, whatever. But I ended up not finishing. But you know, everything's worked out. So, you know, was it always after that? No, but persistence. So
yeah. It was worst case scenario was a great funnel for you to your career. And as we all know, this music business is built on relationships. Like it is. You have to have your ability, right? You have to have ability. There's just no question about that. But it's all about relationships, and some people don't understand that. There's a couple questions. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
Oh no, go ahead. I'll hold it. So.
Oh, I was going to say we have a couple comments and questions here. So James Harrison is from, he said he was born in Chicago, Illinois. And he said, Brice, I used to play, I'm just going to put this on the screen. Brice, I used to play clubs in Southern Illinois, Carbondale, Harrisburg, Mount Vernon, Cairo, and even Marin. This would have been the early 80s. So do you know those places he's talking about?
Well, Marion is my hometown.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah, Carbondale. Carbondale is home of Southern Illinois University, SIU, which is where my wife went to school, and my sister, and both my brother-in-laws. My wife was born in Harrisburg, and then Mount Vernon is between Marion and St. Louis, and then Cairo is right there on the very that you can't get any further south in Illinois, otherwise you'll be in the river. So,
Cairo, I think I said Cairo when I read that.
It looks like. Well, yeah, it looks like
Southern Illinois is known as Little Egypt because of no, it's serious. That's what it's known as. So you'll find a lot of, different Egyptian names around Southern Illinois, this and that. My wife's hometown, not Egyptian, but my wife's hometown, if you look at it, Vienna. No, Vienna. They say it differently in Southern Illinois, but it's just like Vienna, Austria, but no, it's Illinois. That's my wife's hometown. So,
and then we got Cheeky Devil here, which is our friend Fahed, and he said, "Loving this interview. Have you ever worked with Robert Venable, Colt Caperon? I can't.
Caperon.
I can't read. Or Nikki Hines?
I haven't.
And do you know Lester Estelle?
Lester and I have met a couple of times. I don't know. I know who he is.
Okay.
But
he's from Pillar, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
And he's Kelly Clarkson's drummer.
Yeah.
He's also a Pearl guy and a Sabian guy like me. But we've met just a couple of times, random passing. I don't even know if he knows who I am. But
okay.
But no, I don't know him personally.
Well, there you go, Cheeky Devil. There's your answer.
Cheeky Devil.
There's your
answer.
Good
night, mate.
So he's from New Zealand. Fahed is.
Wow.
But he lives here. Yeah, he lives here though.
Yeah, I've been tracking drums from him on some stuff. So it's always interesting to talk to somebody from New Zealand.
Yeah, I know.
Australia.
He has such a great accent.
Yeah.
Yeah, and he's writing some really cool music right now. Fred's played on a couple tracks now, I think.
Yeah.
Really cool stuff.
So, Brice, I record here. This is my fake wall is covering my drums up, but do you do home recording tracking?
I do. Mm-hmm.
Right there where you're sitting?
Right where I'm sitting. This is
nice.
We moved into this house before the world shut down in 2020. Mm-hmm. And even at the old house we lived in, I was still able to record there. But this room was kind of because when the world shut down, my wife went from working at an office every day to basically working from home almost every day. She goes into the office one day a week. Today, she's actually at the office today. And so I had to find something. We had to do something. So we ended up about a year ago is when we got this built. This is out behind my house. So I can come out and I've got my kit here. And I've got another kit over there. I've got my, this is my Pearl MMX kit that I've had since the 90s. And then the one across from me is a BLX kit from early 90s, before the Master Series. Mm-hmm. And I'll have my students on that kit. I'm on this kit for teaching purposes. And then for online lessons, basically this position is what you get with me. And and recordings, I've done several from here. And,
nice.
I know a lot of guys have all this studio gear and compressors, effects, and all this and that. I'm like, I'll play the drums, I'll send them the raw tracks, and music is so much is done in mixing nowadays. I'll just give them what I got and let them do whatever they want to do with it. And that's kind of the way I do it, I know that's kind of the simplistic way of looking at things, but I'm a simple person. So,
well, so many of us, when the world came to when it stopped turning, we all built home studios. Yeah. And that's
gotta do something.
That's what we did too.
A lot of people started learning how to play instruments.
That's true too.
Yeah.
I had an influx of students during COVID, and I got up to close to the level I had in high school.
Wow.
I taught in high school at one of the two local music stores at that time in Marion. and I had 17 a week in high school.
Wow, that's a lot.
Yeah. But it was nice because I got to make my own schedule, and I taught usually 2 hours a day every day, and I didn't have to work fast food like a lot of my friends did, or go work, some other job. I was able to go do something I love, and that's the thing,
Yeah,
I love playing, but I love teaching too, and I got up to that same level. I got up to 17 during COVID. So
wow. What do you have now? I know you're on the road
17,
a lot.
Not 17.
Not 17.
No.
Yeah.
No. I try to keep around 10. No more than 10. Yeah.
And then how do you juggle that when you're on the road? Do you just not teach that week, or do you teach from the road?
I've only taught from the road a couple of times. I used to do a recital back in the day. And I remember we had a long run with Mark, like a 10-day run the week before the recital. And I thought, I'm not letting these kids go into the recital without having a lesson for 2 weeks. I'm not doing that. So I went to the back lounge of the bus and I taught from the back. I didn't really teach. I listened to them play and kind of gave them, okay, here's what you're doing wrong, blah, 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 blah. Yeah. There was no given examples or anything like that. But that's the only time I've ever done that. Usually if I'm going to be gone, we'll try to shift things. But most of the time I'm only gone Thursday through Sunday. So it usually won't affect. I try to teach Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday is what I try to do. Honestly, the thing that affects my teaching schedule more than anything is my 2 children's extracurricular activities. That seems to affect it more than anything else.
Yeah, that's how it goes.
Baseball practice ran over, or I got to get my daughter to dance, or, it's usually, with my wife and I both working, it's, you guys know that it's a tag team effort,
Yeah.
And, that, I think that affects it more than anything else. So, yeah.
Yeah. Well, so part of what led to being on the show was commenting on some podcast stuff, and you said you had something you wanted to talk about.
Oh.
And before we went live, I said, Mark, can we talk, or not Mark, Brice, can we talk about what you did with Mark at the Grand Ole Opry?
Oh.
Yep. So
take it away, Brice.
So, and I can talk about it now because I woke up Friday morning in my bunk on the bus. We were heading to Rhode Island, and I get on social media, and the first thing I see is, boom, Mark posted it. So I'm like, okay, I can talk about it now if it's out there.
Yeah.
So he did a project that he'd been wanting to do for a long time. It's a gospel project. The name of it is called Grand Ole Revival, hence Grand Ole Opry, which Mark is a member of. We recorded this on stage at the Opry after hours. We did all of the tracking in 2 nights for the band, rhythm section, or all of it in 2 nights. I think we did like 5 songs one night, 5 or 6 songs the next night. Just tried to split it up is what we did. Mm-hmm. And Mark laid down, they had a video crew there. I'm sure there's video that will be released of it sometime because there was a whole video crew there recording us while we were doing this. Ben Isaacs produced it, and I got to play on it. And the first single was released, but what makes it cool, aside from being recorded on stage at the Opry after hours, which, by the way, there's nothing like being 11:30 at night and looking at a 5,400 seat arena, performance area, and it's quiet, and it's it was very, very cool, because I usually see the Opry from usually the curtain comes up and it's full of people. It's weird to see it completely empty. But what makes it cool is there is a guest artist or artists with Mark on every single song on this project. The first one that was released the other day was called the Baptism of Jesse Taylor, and it is Mark, but it is also Jamie Johnson, and the harmonica player is Charlie McCoy, who's also a Grand Ole Opry member, which Jamie's also a Grand Ole Opry member, and then the Gaither Choir is also on it with him.
Oh wow!
But like, there's another one that's my favorite track is "How Great Thou Art," and that one is Mark and Trisha Yearwood. That's my favorite track.
Wow.
But yeah, I mean, there's I'm trying to remember who all. Cody Johnson is on one. Vince Gill. Wow. Travis Tritt is on one. Oak Ridge Boys. Rhonda Vincent. I'm trying to think who else. I know there's more, and I'm just not thinking. But
how long ago did you record that?
2 years.
2 years.
Wow, you've had to hold that in.
I know,
for 2 years. Record and forget. I have the
but you got, so anytime you do like with, okay, take the Lady A album.
Yeah,
we recorded the Lady A album in early summer of 2007. It didn't come out until the end of April the following year.
Yeah.
A lot of these take time, especially this one. And what took so long with this one is getting these other artists' schedules to where they can record their track. And I mean, that's makes sense. I mean, when you've got that many people you're trying to get, and hey, we need you to come in. Well, man, I'm booked up for the next, however long. I can get here then. Well, we can't do it then. So it's and when you've got that many artists, that's what took the time.
Yeah.
So
yeah. I was looking up on Apple Music. The one single is available right now, "The Baptism of Jesse Taylor."
Mm-hmm.
But the other artists, Cody Johnson, Ricky Skaggs, Rhonda Vincent, Trisha Yearwood on "How Great Thou Art," Vince Gill, Rebecca Lynn Howard, the Isaacs.
Mm-hmm.
Leona Williams, Travis Tritt, Oak Ridge Boys, Mansion Over the Hilltop featuring The Sound. Yeah. There's a lot of major players right there.
Yeah.
That's awesome. Yeah. So that's what sparked this whole thing. Like, oh, well, if you have something to announce, let's get Brice on the show. Right? You got to make that happen.
To announce.
You got to make that happen. All right. So my buddy Jamie Vink is here. He wants to know, Brice, when you are working with subs, besides knowing the tunes, what are the things that you look for?
Make the music feel good. Make the music feel good. If you make it feel good, the artist should be very happy.
Yeah.
The artist should be very happy. And I kind of feel like in today's world, social media is great and the internet is great, but I feel like there's so many young kids out there that are, oh, I want to do this for a living. And they see, guy blasting chops online or doing something like that. That will get you fired. That will get you fired. I remember one of the one thing that I remember that really sticks out to me that I got from Chester was these two things right here are gifts. You use them.
Yeah.
Listen to the band. You've got to listen to yourself while you're playing. Make the music feel good. That's the most important thing. That's great. If you want to have, the cool chops and this and that for your own personal benefit, whatever, that's fine. If you want to do that, don't ever bring them out, because that's not what you're being paid for. You're not paid to sit back there and do this, sick drum lick with your, double bass chops or whatever. You're paid to make the music feel good. Be dynamic. Play with dynamics. Don't beat the hell out of things. And and if you can make it feel good, be dynamic in your playing, the artist will be happy. And that's what you want. You want the artist happy.
Yeah.
So
I'm sure you've experienced this too, where you have a new student come in the door and they say something like, I want to learn how to play faster.
Faster.
Okay.
yeah.
Can you, what can you play now? And then they go to play and it's revealing of areas that need improvement quickly before the next step of playing faster.
Yeah.
Now,
so I typically get the faster comment whenever we go from 8th notes to 16th notes. Oh, I just play faster. No, you have a quarter note.
Yes.
You can do 8th notes in a quarter note. You could fit 4 16th notes in a quarter note. No, we're not playing faster. You're putting more notes in that space. You're not playing faster. But yes. Yes. Oh, I just play that part faster. More notes.
Turn up the beat.
Has that happened to you before?
Oh, absolutely.
So instead of just like turning up the met to go faster, they try to put more notes in to make it sound faster.
No, I think what Brice is saying, if I understand correctly, is like if you want to change from playing 8th notes to 16th notes, the student translates that as, I just have to play faster, but not understanding the subdivision.
Oh, gotcha.
I'm going from 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and okay, now we're gonna learn how to play 16th notes. 1E and a 2E. Oh, I'm just playing faster. No.
Yeah.
They recognize it as right, left, right, left, right, left, right, left, right, left, right, left, and then just I'm just gonna get faster. No, it's a So that's what I mean.
I can see how they would think that, yeah.
So I started a temporary new job yesterday morning. Teaching
a temporary new job.
Yes, teaching drum set at Lone Star Middle School in Nampa for the next couple months.
Okay.
And I have a student that already attends that school, and the band director had been the student teacher at one of the high schools, and I spent about 5 years at the high school as a drumline coach.
Okay.
And so that's how I knew him. And he recognized that my student that's now his student is so much further advanced than the other drummers at the school. Mm-hmm. and said, okay, I need you here to help get them ready for jazz band. Yep. But this is not necessarily any fault of theirs. I think like band teachers have like this huge amount of students to manage, and getting individual attention is so difficult, but understanding what a quarter note is can be a challenge. Mm-hmm. for those students. And so I think I had 6 drummers in the room, and I said, who knows what quarter notes are? And they all raised their hand. Okay, can you tell me how to count them? Not one could tell me, except my private student could tell me. But I'm like, Alex, you can't answer all these questions all the time. You gotta let the other ones answer.
Stop showing off.
And do you and I've had students come to me, and you probably had this exact same thing happen to you. I've had them come to me from other teachers, and you kind of expect them to be at a certain level if they've been studying for a certain amount of time.
Yeah.
And I'll say, can you play me, how many rudiments do you know? Paradiddle and flam. Okay, what else do you know? Paradiddle and flam. I'm like, okay. How about double stroke rolls? Double stroke rolls. Oh yeah, I can do that. Okay, let me hear it. And it sounds like a press roll. And I said, no, let's open them up. Open them up. And it's, they realize, how many double stroke rolls are there? Well, let's see. You got a 5, you got a 6, you got a 7, and so on and so forth. Right. What? I got to learn all this? Yeah. You got to learn all this. So, it's a little bit of a rude awakening, I guess. But, it's, sometimes I feel like, if they come to me, and again, everybody's got a different way of doing things. There's no right way, there's no wrong way. The way that I do something may be completely different from how somebody else does it. And I've told all my students this, and this is something I tell their parents and them both. When you come to study with me, there are certain things that we're going to do that are basic building block foundation that I feel everybody must know. You need to know how to read. Do you have to be a great reader? No, you don't have to be a great reader, but you need to learn how to read. You need to know what note values are.
Yeah.
To me, I want all of mine to know all 40 PAS standard rudiments, all 40 of them, and be able to explain them to me.
Mm-hmm.
I use this term. I said, know the anatomy of how they're put together, know how to play them, know how to describe them. Because if you really know that, you can play them. It's not one of those, let me think, paradiddle diddle, or, patty flaw flaw, or something like that, trying to sit there and, if they know how it's put together, they'll be able to play it. But when it comes to drum set stuff, I tell all of them, I teach. The only book that I use for drum set is that one right there.
Oh, okay.
Shaping book. That is the only book that I really use for drum set. Everything else is stuff that I kind of have maybe stole from Chester from back in the day. And there are things of his that I will still do that were pure from the way that he showed me. But there are other things that I'll kind of change a little bit and put my own little spin on it. But I teach my drum set guys and girls, because I have girls as well, from a real world perspective.
Yeah.
This is something you will actually use. A lot of this stuff, maybe not so. Doesn't mean that maybe you shouldn't know it, but is it something that you can use on, 90% of gigs? Probably not. Most contemporary gigs, whether it's country, pop, rock, you're going to be playing 4/4. You're not necessarily going to be playing an odd time signature.
Yeah.
So I try to focus on the meat and potatoes, pocket, groove, making it feel good. That's the big thing. Feel good.
Yeah.
Even if it's
not speed.
No. Real simple. Boom chick, and make it feel good, and you will be working.
I'm going to ask you this question. I think I know what answer you're going to give me, but
okay.
As a drum teacher, how important is it for somebody that's going to take lessons from somebody who is either currently a working drummer or a touring drummer, like that experience, or has had that experience? How important is that to finding a drum teacher?
I think it's very important, because you're actually okay. So one of the gigs I have, and that one of the teaching gigs I have right now, this will be my 5th year starting there, is at a private school here in the Nashville area. I got that teaching gig from Chester Thompson. Okay. Chester called me summer of 22. I was sitting in my truck waiting on my son at, of all places, baseball. Mm-hmm. And he said, hey, I think I'm going to retire. I'm done. Would you take over for me? And I said, sure, absolutely. And when I reached out to this school has 2 band directors. When I reached out to the band director, I said, what all do you need from me? Mm-hmm. And she said, well, typically we like, your references and this and that. And she said, which Chester speaks very highly of you. She said, and I said, do you require a degree for this? She's like, well, typically we like to do that. She said, but Chester said, you're the guy. And he said that you're actually doing it, and you've been doing it for a long time. She said, that's what we want. She said, we want experience. And, again, it's this, and that can be a touchy subject with a lot of people, I mean, but if someone is actually out doing it and doing it consistently for a lot of years, I would want to send my child to someone like that to study with, because you're not only going to get the instruction, but this is something that I give to all of my students as well. Besides drum instruction, you're going to get Brice advice, is what you're going to get.
There you go.
You're going to get, don't do what I did.
Yeah. Sharing your wisdom. Yeah.
Yes. Whatever you do, don't do this. Like, for instance, the student that I have that is starting Belmont this week, he had his last session with me last Monday. He was sitting right across from me right here. And I kept saying, okay, so when you get to school, here's what you're going to do. This is what you want to audition for. You want to do this, and he texted me over the weekend while I was on tour, and he said, and it started with, "You were right." And I thought, oh, okay. So I started reading it. It just, man, we're all fallible people, and we all make mistakes. And there's some mistakes that if I could go back and do over again, I would. There are some mistakes, believe it or not, that I would leave right where how I did them, because it was a mistake at that point, but it led to something better happening later. And I think that's what, you're going to make mistakes. And I've made a ton of them in my life. And to me, if I see someone that has the passion for playing and the natural ability, all there, they've got the tools. Don't let your ego get in the way. Don't do this. Don't do that. Don't walk into a gig with this. Well, I'm not going to do that. I'm above that. And the big thing that I've noticed is this, and this is a real piddly thing. Nylon tip versus wood tip. Do not be that professional drummer. Most professional drummers, man, I don't play nylon tip, man. I play wood tip. Come on, man. If boss wants nylon tip, guess what you're going to be playing?
Nylon tip.
Don't be the, well, I'm not going to, no, man, that's like what kids play. I'm not going to use nylon tip. No. If the guy that's signing the check says, hey, can you play nylon tip on these? You say, absolutely. You don't, and that's what I'm saying. It's little piddly stuff like that usually, will get someone fired or something like that. But, have an open mind when you go into situations. And, and because, and you're still going to make mistakes, but learn from them. Try not to make the same ones. But, like I said, the students with me, they usually get some life lessons along the way, because, like I said, don't make the same ones that I made. Don't make the same mistakes that I made. So
yeah, exactly. I've got, we could trade stories all day, I'm sure, but I think wisdom is the culmination of knowledge and experience.
I would agree.
If you're taking lessons from somebody that has all the knowledge but no experience, I'm not saying that that's not valuable, that they wouldn't get something out of it. But I think when somebody like yourself knows what it's like to be sleep deprived and still having to be accountable for yourself and doing things and still play really well, and the different kinds of people you come across, good, bad, the situations you may find yourself in suddenly. Hey, we need a drummer. You need to play right now. What are we playing? I don't know, but just go with it. Like, can you just sit there and keep time? Can you?
That's the thing.
Said, use these.
Yes. That's exactly right. Exactly right. That's the thing. I mean, so many musicians, and my wife. I'm going to take my wife for instance. My wife is a classically trained pianist. Okay. She can you can put anything in front of her, and she can read it. Yeah. You ask her to play by ear, can't do it.
Can't do it.
Yeah.
You can't. You're not always going to have a chart. You're not always going to be able to well, let me listen to it. Nope, we got to count it off. We got to go. Okay, that's when you look at your bass player. Can you get me through it? Gotcha.
Yeah.
And that's when you use these and you listen to what everybody else is doing and you try to make it feel good. I've so many times I've been put into situations where, someone calls a tune, whether it's I played a lot of jazz and big band growing up, and I had charts for all those. Mm-hmm. But every once in a while, it may be a chart, maybe, something that I didn't have a chart for. And I would have to look at the bass player, or I would look at the guitar player, or maybe the piano player. All right, you guys know this? All right, I don't. Okay, so let's eye contact. Let's listen. And that's how you get through it. And at the end of the song, if someone looks and goes, "Yeah, that was it," you did your job. But don't always rely on music, because the music will not be there. You've got to use your ears.
Yeah, 100%. And if you're taking lessons from somebody that hasn't had that experience before, there's no way to give them any direction on that. And so in February, a drummer friend of mine calls me on Monday, and it's during when I'm teaching, which he knows. And I'm like, this is unusual that he would be calling me. He knows what I'm doing. And so something in my mind just said I should answer this call. And he's like, I need you. Okay. No, I need you to fill in for me. When?
Yeah.
Friday.
It's like Monday.
He's like, I'm driving to the hospital right now. I have to have emergency surgery on my left wrist. And he's like, I'll have to tell you what's wrong later, but I just need to know if you can do it. I'm like, sure. Right.
Yeah. Now the gig.
he's got a wedding band, and they do a lot of out of town stuff, and everything's to the click. Everything's with backing tracks. And he goes, well, here's the kicker. They started doing a live band karaoke thing. He goes, I can't send you a set list because the people singing can choose anything from our catalog of 150 songs.
Yeah. Wow.
And so he goes, I can send you the Spotify playlists they made that have all the songs on there. And I'm like, there's no way that alone that I would even be able to listen to all of those and then have any sense of anything that's going to happen on the 25 to 30 songs that may get picked that night.
Yeah.
So it's just like my whole attitude at that moment was, I'm going to put my in-ears in. I'm going to get the click which had cues, by the way, which was great. Mm-hmm. And there's no 8 in your in. It's like play.
Yeah.
You're just like, you're in. Thankfully, the bass player had a talkback mic, and right before this, as the songs came up, he'd be like, okay, this one's 4 on the floor. Okay, cool. Mm-hmm. I can handle that. Or this one's do ba ba do ba do ba. Okay, go. Yeah. But it is really just being hyper aware of what's going on around you and really listening and watching the band. And I don't think I was that relaxed playing, but we did it, and I was able to say yes. And there's not a lot. That's something that's hard to teach.
It is. And, you mentioned 2 other things, playing with a click. Yeah. That's something everybody has to learn how to do. And then backing tracks. That's another thing. I can honestly say, and Mark says this in our shows every night, he makes a point to say this. What you are hearing is us. Mm-hmm. There are no tracks. There is no auto-tune on my voice. The background vocals are us. All of the instruments are live, us. We don't use any of that. And that's something that's really important. But I do know that 9 out of 10 gigs today have that.
Yeah.
You're having backing tracks. You're having, this and that click. And I do use a click on the majority of what I don't play click on everything. I may use the click to start us, and then I shut it off. Yeah. And I'll maybe go back and pop it on. Yeah, right. right there. All right. And go without it. You know, because I want to make sure that we're still in that and the Mark's band is great. The bass player, Alex Stevens. Alex and I have been playing together since Belmont, another Belmont guy. You know, and you have that built-in chemistry. We play together for so, but you know, that's the other thing is kids have to learn how to play with clicks, and then maybe learn how to do the track thing. And there's it's more than just getting back and just beating on things. There's a lot more that go into it. You made a comment about the count off that you had. It was a very short count off. I can remember the first time I filled in for Sarah Evans. The opening song was Coal Mine, and the count off before the drum, it was like a 1-bar drum fill. And that's and all I would have is 4 and. That's all I had.
Oh wow!
All I had was 4 and. I will remember.
That's like whack-a-mole drumming.
I was like, I hit the space bar to start the click and 4 and boom, and then so it was kind of nerve-wracking. It's like
I bet.
I hope I don't screw this, and luckily I didn't. So but it was very very quick count in 4 and. So
yes, but you were prepared for that to happen, right?
Well, man, it's like anything else. I don't know if you can. There's certain things in this industry and in this business that you can prepare for, but a lot of stuff is fly by the seat of your pants. And how can you respond to pressure? How can you respond to stress? And just being put in and learning how to be put in an uncomfortable position, because it's going to happen on a regular basis. And you know, that's when you have to kind of dig deep inside and you know, if your playing is together, you don't have to worry about that. It's getting that stuff together as well, because there's more to it than just the playing the right part. So you gotta have this game going on up here. So.
Exactly. And that a lot of that comes too with just the repeatability or the repetition of playing a lot of shows. With a lot of different people, right?
All the experience,
absolutely.
And we have a musician friend of ours that always says a gig without a clam is a clam in itself.
I haven't heard that.
A gig without a clam. I know exactly who you're talking about.
You can carry that around if you want, Brice.
I may have to.
This guy was he used to tour with Ray Charles and Bette Midler and did like Broadway and the whole thing. And so he always had some funny stories.
He played trombone for them, and he always he always would say, "What's the holdup with the delay?"
Well, we played with him in church.
What's his name?
John Bonine.
No, it's what?
John Bonine is the trombone player we're talking about.
Okay, the one that I knew that played with Ray Charles. That's a different guy. I knew one of the trombone players that played with Ray Charles as well.
Oh, okay.
I thought maybe randomly it's the same guy.
Gosh, that would be funny.
That would be great if that was the case. So another hat that Brice wears.
Oh,
you probably didn't know this, producer.
Well, probably not.
No.
How could I?
I was just. You're supposed to read my mind.
Oh.
Brice is also a tour manager.
Oh.
That's a whole nother ball of responsibilities.
Bag of ingredients. So,
yes.
Wow. That's interesting. So how do you make that work? How do you balance that?
Well,
let me think.
So it started, we were in Italy. We did a Armed Forces entertainment tour, kind of like USO. Went to different all through Italy. This was 2014. And we got back from Italy, and I was home maybe a couple days. And I got a phone call from Mark. It was probably like 10:30 at night, something like that. So I answered the phone, and we started talking about some stuff. And he said, "Hey, you ever thought about maybe wanting to do the TM thing?" And I said, I mean, not really. He's like, "You want to give it a whirl?" And I'm like, "Okay."
Why?
And so that was, late 2014. The first show I advanced for him was an acoustic show, like a few weeks later, and been doing it ever since. And I knew nothing about it at the time, and thank God that he has other people working for him that were able to, his manager, his business manager, both kind of took me under their wings and like, okay, here's what you need to do first when you advance a show. There's going to be two portions. There's going to be a hospitality portion. There's going to be a production portion. Luckily with production, I usually hand that off to my production director, and I let him handle the production side of things. And then the hospitality is like, going through the run of the day, going through catering, going through, clean up rooms. If we're at a hotel, if they are providing rooms, great, it's on them. I get all the information about that. If they're not, then I got to go search and find hotels for us. If they're not doing catering, if it's a buyout, which I hate buyouts, that means I've got to find food options throughout the day for all 10 people on our bus.
Wow.
And, and then it becomes the game, a day of show. It's like, well, we've got load in at this time. We've got sound check at this time. Mark usually goes and plays golf every day. So I've got to get a runner to get him to the golf course.
Wow.
And then I've got band guys going to shower at this time. I've got food coming here for dinner, and I had lunch ready when we got there before load in. It's timing Tetris is basically with everything throughout the day. And there are days that everything just flows so smoothly. And there are other days where it's just like, what else is going to go wrong today? And there are, some of those days where, what else is going to go wrong, because everything, and on my day sheet, all of my band guys, I do my day sheets through notes on my iPhone, as opposed to the old day when I would just do it and email it to everybody. Crap changes throughout the day. And at least with them having notes, I can go in and make a change, and they'll get a real-time update on their phone. They'll see that a change has been made. Oh, the hotel has changed. We're at a different hotel, or load-in time has changed. We're at a different, because not everybody gets up at the same time on a bus. I mean, I've got there's a few of us that get up early. I'll usually get on the phone and start talking to the venue before we get there. And if a change has been made, I'll jump right off, make the change. The two guys that are up, I got it. Everybody that's still asleep, as soon as they wake up, they'll see it. As opposed to me going back and opening the curtain. Hey, this changed.
Yeah.
Nobody wants me to wake them up. Trust me.
No, I bet not.
So that's the nice thing about technology is you can do that. But, and then play the show. Playing the show is the part of the day where my mind shuts off. I play it, and I'm having fun. And then usually the second to last song in the show is one of Mark's big hits called Don't Laugh at Me. And usually during Don't Laugh at Me, my mind starts turning back on. Okay.
What you need to do next.
Okay. First, do I see hands starting to assemble around the stage to get us off the stage and back on the trailer? Is the runner on their way to the hotel to get the driver or drivers? Is after show food being delivered on time? If there's a merch split, do I see, the mind starts kicking back in usually when Don't Laugh at Me is going on. And, but I've been doing it since like 2014. So,
oh, wow.
it's different. it's completely different than just playing drums. So
is there a spot in that schedule every day that says Brice self-care time?
Yeah.
Yes, there is.
Okay. All right.
At the end of the day, when I climb in my bunk and I close my curtain,
I
go, that's what I do. And the guys I'll do that during the day. If things are going really wrong, which they have in the past, and they know to have, if it's like, this is not what we had on the schedule, the venue dropped the ball with this, and it happens. And you know, people, like I said, people make mistakes, it happens. But sometimes it puts us in a pickle in other ways. And usually when that happens, I'll do and the guys make fun of me for it. But I do it here at home too. My kids make fun of me. When the stress level starts going up, I do the big sigh and the deep breath and the exhale. And the guys, when they just like to poke at me, will be sitting up there. And out of just someone feels like, well, we're going to poke at Brice now. So someone will just and then kind of look at it to see what my reaction is whenever they do that. But yeah.
I have a similar sound that I make that Mary likes to point out when I make it.
Which one? That's usually because I asked you a question. Like, hey, what?
We got to do what we can do. I mean, you know. I tell them, you guys want me to do that. Trust me, I need to do that. So, you know.
So my band, Midline, we spent quite a bit of time touring from like 1998 until 2008, about a 10-year stretch where we're doing about 180 dates a year on average. And I was the tour manager also. And they all called me Dad because I was we'd be so lost without Dad.
Yeah.
Yeah, but back then we'd have a notebook. Everybody was issued a notebook with the whole schedule of the tour, and
we'd have our little.
Where
tour
are we
books.
Thing? Check your notebook.
That's the same thing.
Your notebook.
That's the same thing as my day sheets are. That way, and I typically will get guys. What time is there an opener? Look at your day sheet.
Check your notebook.
What time's loaded? Look at your day sheet.
Yeah.
You know, is it what's for, and I've gotten, and I try to do this. I try to be as thorough as possible. And I'll try to, if I can get like if it's festival catering, I'll try to get what lunch is going to be and what dinner is going to be. That way the guys know. If there is, if the venue is just saying, we'll cover your food, but we'll send you a menu. I'll put the menu online for the guys to choose from, and I'll get everybody's order ahead of time and turn that in morning of show. That way we can make sure lunch is here on time. And I try to get everybody's name on there. So there's not who had this. Everybody's name is on. And that doesn't mean things still don't get messed up, because they do.
Yeah.
Especially when it comes to, well, I don't want this on my burger. I wanted this on my burger. So, you know, and I write it all down. Sometimes it doesn't happen, and they look at me. I'm like, I said what you wanted. Sorry. So, but you know, that's the thing is, you know, you've got, like I said, there's usually 10 people, because there's 6 on stage, including Mark. Mark is part of that 6. We have 2 production guys. We have merch, and then we have at least 1 driver. And I always try to include our drivers in as much as I possibly can. A lot of bus drivers, usually when they get there, they just go straight to the hotel, and you don't see the bus drivers till later in the day. Bus drivers people come to see Mark Wills. That's why people come to see us.
Right.
And he is the main reason they're there. The 2 most important people other than him are our front of house guy, because we could be playing great on stage, and if you don't have the proper front of house guy out front to convey that to everybody out front, you're screwed.
Yeah.
And the second most important person is the person whose butt is in that seat driving you through the night, that you trust.
Yeah.
That is, and I don't think people realize that, your front of house guy and your bus drivers. Those are other than the artist that's bringing everybody there. Those are the two important people on the day. And, you know, I know a lot of bus drivers, they don't feel like they're part of the, well, I drive for him, you know. No, our guys, I have food there for them. Hey, do you want to eat with us before I send you to the hotel? Yeah. Hey, we've got catering later today. You want me to make you a plate so you got something to eat when you get back tonight? Yeah, I usually do that. Wow. I think that's important. I like the feel of family. And Mark is like family to me. He is. He and I are very alike in a lot of ways. And, you know, I've been with him for this long, and basically everybody in the band's with him has been with him for a very long time. And he's extremely loyal, and we're very loyal to him. But I like the family feel on the road. And, you know, that I want the bus drivers to feel like they're part of that as well.
Yeah. So. Okay. Now, before you took over the tour manager responsibilities, did it have that family atmosphere prior to that?
We went through several tour managers. I took over it for one reason only. And it's probably, most people think, oh, you get paid more. Yeah. That wasn't the reason I took over. So back then we were flying a lot back then. We did bus things, but it was more fly dates than anything else. And I would give our tour managers at the time my backline list. And I would get to the gig expecting to see a Pearl kit and expecting Sabian cymbals. And I would get there and it would be another brand. And it would be another brand of cymbals. And I would, and I it's just like, come on. Pearl is the largest manufacturer of drums in the world. You mean to tell me they can't find a Pearl kit? And I'm not going to say every time, but the majority of times, if I started talking to the backline company, it's a good kit. It's this whatever brand it was, but it wasn't Pearl. And I said, yeah, I'm a Pearl guy. Well, we got a Pearl kit. We should have brought it. I'm like,
that's what I asked for.
Oh no.
Oh, that's funny.
So that was my primary reason was, if I do that, I can get the drums that I want at shows.
There you go.
Yeah, that was the first thing that went through my mind is I can get the drums that I want at shows. So now it's every once in a while we're someplace that actually I can't play Pearl kit, but I am, like you said earlier, you're very brand loyal. I'm very brand loyal, and you know I've been playing Pearl since I was a kid. I don't want to play anything else. I don't. I love them. You know, and same thing with Sabian. I've been playing Sabian since high school. Love them. Don't want to play anything else. So
I just recently started switching all my cymbals over to Sabian cymbals. I don't have it. Yeah. I don't have
what line of you prefer.
So I love the AAX explosion crashes. And so I've got an 18 and a 19 on order. I have a 16-inch here already. I've got an HHX studio crash. That sounds great. And I got a bunch of friends that play Sabian stuff, so I've been cherry picking really what I wanted, and sent an order over to Sabian recently. So they should be arriving soon. I'd have my kit completely outfitted with Sabian cymbals. So,
well, I'll tell you what. I'm an HHX guy with a HH kind of mixed in, but I like the HHX complex, which is what this one is right here. Is I usually use an 18 or a 19 for my primary. But the AAX air splashes and arrow splashes are awesome. I love those. Yeah. But the sleeper, I think it's a sleeper. It's a new line. The Stratus.
Okay.
Stratus line is unbelievable. I love them. They feel great. You know, people talk about that buttery feel. You know, they talked about that with the Evolution. Evolution. the Stratus feel like that. I've got an 18-inch Stratus Crash, and I put it next to my Legacy, my HHX Legacy. It feels just like it. It sounds almost exactly like it. And it's like, you look at the price difference. The Stratus line is awesome. And that new Stratus Dry line, which is also really, really cool too. But I am a big fan of the Stratus line. If it's not HHX, it's you know.
Now, are those darker cymbals, Brice?
They are.
Those, okay, yeah. I play mostly. Sorry, I play mostly rock or hard rock, and I like really bright sounding cymbals and cutting sounding cymbals. But doing a lot of recording here, and Mary does all the engineering for the recording. Sometimes we need to have some different choices.
Yep.
And I'm hoping this path will lead to having a relationship with Sabian so that I can have a stockpile of choices. Yeah. I say a stockpile sounds like I've got a massive vault of cymbals. That would be okay.
I've got, honestly, that's the thing. I have 3 working kits. I have these 2 here, and then I've got my kit on the road with Mark.
Yeah.
And those are the only kits I have. Snare wise, I went through my snare drum phase about 10 years ago where I had to have this snare drum and that snare drum. I've got it down to, I think I have 9 is what I have.
Okay.
And all 9 of those have a story behind them.
Yeah.
So that's, but cymbals, I've got like multiple bags of cymbals. My cymbals on the road. I've got a fly case ready to go for fly dates. I've got another bag that goes with the blue kit when it goes out. The cymbals that are on there are for my teaching rig. I mean, I've got multiple sets that I can choose from. And that's because, you know, the cymbals, you may need a different sound here. So, you know, I may need a little bigger crash, or I may need a smaller crash, which everybody's using, you know, 20 and 22 inch crashes now. I still use an 18 or a 19. I still have 16. I still have 16s. Having that smaller crash size is nice to have. Just variety, being able to choose. It's like I said earlier, you know, with the nylon tip stick, you get a different sound. Sometimes you need that different sound. Yeah. You know, you can go from a brush to a multi-rod or a blastic. That's why you have all that for different sounds.
Right.
And cymbals are the same way. So
James Harrison says 9 snares, hoarder.
That's funny coming from James.
Hey, you know what? They all have a story behind them.
Yes, we know.
So, he's kidding because he's probably got 100.
I know. Believe me, I like watching James's videos. I do.
Yeah. Yeah.
And James has got some cool stuff.
He does.
Yeah,
he does. He seems that guy. I find what works for me, and I pretty much don't stray from that path unless somebody asks me to do something different. But
I'm a creature of habit.
Yeah.
All of my kits, all 3 of them are set up exactly the same.
Yeah.
It's a different color, but this kit is an exact mirror of my road kit with Mark. Same drum rack, same cymbal arms, just a different color kit. That is it. Everything, positioning wise, I like everything close. I play everything low and close. I want to be able to reach everything without really straining. I want everything to feel comfortable, because if I'm comfortable myself, my playing is going to be, and it's going to sound better, and it's going to feel better, and that's what we want. So, but I believe in consistency as well.
Yeah.
So, well,
James is one of those guys that he knows a lot of history of drums and a lot of history of the different manufacturers of cymbals and drums and drumsticks. And I've never met anybody with more knowledge than he on all of those things. Sometimes he'll start telling me, I start kind of glossing over. Like, I can't keep up. I can't keep up.
I love that. And I know you and I had this conversation last week. I am a gear guy. I love gear. Doesn't mean that I'm going to go out and necessarily buy all this gear. No, because I have what works for me. But I I love gear. I've gotten to the point where I know what works for me. I use that, but I'm always curious to find out what's the new thing coming out, and this may, a lot of people think, okay, well, it's professional, artist, and he's got a drummer up there. Probably everything is top of the line that Pearl makes. Some of my favorite stuff is not necessarily their top of the line stuff. That I use with Mark is a newer line called the Professional Series, which is basically a Masters kit without the Masters lugs on it.
Okay.
It's a thin 6-ply maple. Love it. But it's more, it's not a Masterworks, and it's not a Reference one, or a maple gum. I know a lot of people are using the maple gum stuff, and the maple gum stuff is really cool. It really is. But the other one works for me. And like even the cymbal arms, I'm using like the lower line of cymbal arms just because they work. I don't need all of the bells and whistles that some of the more expensive stuff has. Don't get me wrong. Sometimes it's cool and sometimes you do need that. But for me, this stuff works great for me, and it doesn't break. So
that's the important thing, right?
This drum rack is from the 1980s and still working. So this is the original DR1 that Porcaro designed. So
wow. Well, I think if you take care of your stuff, it'll last a while.
It will. It will.
So Scott, I'm not sure if I'm going to say his last name. Do you know Scott?
I know Scott.
What's the most sentimental snare with a story?
Ooh.
You said all your snares. Now we only have 9 to think about here, Brice. Like, which one has the sentimental story? The most sentimental story?
Man, I don't know.
Well, maybe it doesn't have to be a.
They all have a story. Okay, so I'll pick one.
What's your favorite story?
My piccolo. I have a 3.5 by 14 pearl brass shell free floating piccolo.
Nice.
Brian Prout from Diamond Rio made that snare drum famous. Meet in the Middle, their first single, that snare drum sound. Everybody wanted it after that. And it's funny, I had lunch with Brian last week in this exact conversation.
Okay.
Everyone wanted that snare drum sound. I had a snare drum similar to it, but it wasn't that one. My high school had that exact snare drum, and I played that snare drum all through high school. The same brass free floater that Brian played.
Wow.
I graduated, left. I came back to talk to the kids about something like a bunch of years later, and I went up into the drum section, and I was just kind of looking around, and they had a closet off where they kept a lot of extra drums and stuff. And I walked in, looked in the closet, and there up on the shelf, all disassembled, was that snare drum. And I said, "Hey, is that the same snare drum that I used to play growing up?" "Yeah." I'm like, "Are you gonna, do you want it?" And I said, "Yeah, can I have it?" And they're like, "Yeah, take it. It's broke apart. No one's played it in years." So I brought it home and I restored it. And it's not the exact one Brian played, but I took the shell out, and I met Brian one day and I said, "Hey," and he's like, "Where'd you get this?" And I said, "This was," and I said, I played this drum all through high school." And I said, "They gave it to me. I cleaned it up. This is the same model that you played. I know it's not the one you played, but it's just like it. Can you sign the inside of the shell to me?" So he signed the inside of the shell to me, and that snare drum sits on the shelf now. And I still use it from time to time. But it's the snare drum I grew up playing, and it came back into my life later. And the inspiration, the guy that made that snare drum famous signed the inside of it. I've got, this one here. This is a Music City custom.
Ooh, look at that.
Yep.
Is that oak?
Ash.
Ash. Okay.
Oh.
And I was watching, so Eddie Bayers, another guy. There's a few guys in town that just have meant the world to me. And Brian Prout being one of them, Chester Thompson being one of them, Eddie Bayers is one of them. Eddie Bayers is a Pearl artist as well, and Eddie is a good friend. He did the videos on YouTube when they launched these snare drums, and I watched the videos. It sounded great. I was in Fork's drum closet one day, and I happened to see this drum sitting there behind the counter, and I said, that looks just like. And so I did this. This is how much of a geek I am. I got on my phone and got to that part in the video where Eddie's playing it, and I kind of zoomed in with my fingers and looked at the pattern on the drum, like the wood pattern.
Yeah.
Holy crap, that's the same drum. I said, hey, is that the drum that Eddie played? They're like, yeah, we got it from Pearl. I'm like, I'll take it. They're like, you don't want to call Pearl and get one on your own? You're an artist. You can get them a lot cheaper than. I said, Eddie played it, I'll take it. Yeah. So I took it. I played the Opry that night. I took it to the Opry that night because Eddie's also one of the 2 house drummers at the Opry. I pulled it out of the case, and he saw it, and he said, is that the one that I play? I said, yes. He's like, where'd you get it? I said, they had it at Forks. I said, I had to buy it. And he said the same thing. You didn't call John and see if you could get it? I said, nope, I just bought it. You played it, I bought it. So he signed the inside for me. So Eddie signed this one. I've got an original Dennis Chambers snare drum signed by Dennis. I've got an Omar Hakim drum signed by Omar Hakim. You know, they all have a story behind them.
Yeah. Yeah.
But
my snare drums don't have stories like that, Mary.
Not one?
No.
Well, you have one snare drum that's got a kind of interesting story.
I do? Which one's that?
The one that Anthony gave you.
Oh. Well, okay. So
I mean, it's not nearly as interesting.
Well, I mean, it's some of the snares I have, I don't know if you want to say luck, but my favorite snare drum I have is a Tama brass snare drum.
Mm-hmm.
It's a 5.5 by 14. And a drummer in town traded that snare drum to me for a old Ludwig marching snare, that 15-inch. So a 12 by 15, just this enormous thing to use with this drum set. He's like, I'll just trade you straight across. And I'm like, deal here. And that drum sounds so good. It feels good to play. And then the other I have is a Ludwig Superphonic, and a drummer friend in town was moving to New York to chase his music dreams, and he didn't have room to take it. And he goes, here, just have this.
Yeah.
Now, I'm not sure that he even knew it was a Superphonic because it was in one of those old plastic CB700 cases.
Yeah.
Like you would get like a starter drum at school or something.
And the space in the bottom for you to put your snare drum stand in.
Yes.
Yeah.
So he handed it to me, and I didn't open that case for 8 to 10 months.
Oh, it wasn't that long.
Yeah, I didn't even know what was in it. I just assumed it was a CB700 something.
Oh.
Yeah.
And I was like, I'm moving junk around in my garage, and I open it, and there's this Ludwig Superphonic in there. I'm like,
who put this here?
What? And as you know, that's a great sounding snare drum too. But I don't know. I don't have any autographs on the inside shells though.
Well, this is something I started a long time ago, and if I met somebody and I had something, I'd have them sign it. I have an old cymbal that my grandfather found in a dumpster it was a ride cymbal, and he cut it down to a small size. You can never really play it, but I've had like drummers that mean a lot to me sign it.
Yeah.
Eddie Bryan's on it. Lonnie Wilson, another big guy here in town that absolutely has been a huge influence on me, is Lonnie Wilson. Lonnie signed it. Liberty DeVito has signed it. I love playing.
Oh, wow.
Chester has signed it, obviously. A big, Chester has meant the world to me as well.
Sure.
And that's the cool thing is some of these guys that I grew up really idolizing, Brian Pratt with Diamond Rio, Eddie Bayers, Lonnie Wilson. My mom was more of the rock persuasion, and I a lot of like Huey Lewis and Phil Collins whenever I was with my mom when I was younger. And where my dad was more the country, my mom had some more of the rock flavor to her. And I always was a huge Phil Collins fan. And when it came time to think about, okay, because I was accepted at Belmont, but I was also accepted at Berkeley. And it's like, do I go to Boston or do I go to Nashville? And I came and visited Nashville before I went to visit Berkeley. Because I did all of my stuff with Berkeley back then when you had to do videos and send everything in and this and that. And that's how I got accepted to Berkeley. But I got to Belmont and I heard Chester Thompson's going to start teaching here in the fall. When I started, Chester Thompson from Phil Collins and Genesis, yeah. So I'm done.
Yeah.
And that, that was what really sold me on Belmont was Chester.
Yeah. Very cool. So I'm looking right over your shoulder. I see a Roctagon clock.
Roctagon.
Yes, you do.
That's the stop sign shaped Sabian symbol, Mary. Do you see it?
I see it. Yeah. Is it, but it's an actual symbol to play, or it's just that way for a clock?
I think it's an actual, I've never hit it because it's got all the clock workings on the back of it, but I think it's an actual one you could play. My wife surprised me with that 10 years ago for Valentine's.
James uses the Roctagon sometimes in his videos.
Does it have a different sound?
It does. It's got a little trashier sound. Not like an ozone, but yeah, very cool. I like the Roctagon splashes. They used to make like an 8 and a 10 and a 12-inch Roctagon splash. And I really liked those. If I could find one, I'd love to buy one. So
I do love a good splash.
I have two. I can't play without at least one or two. I have two. I only have 3 cymbal stands on all of my kits. My primary, I usually have an ozone over here, and then I put a splash on top and a splash on top, because that way I can still have it. If I'm playing down on Broadway, I can still have my same cymbal set up, because usually pretty much anywhere you go, you're going to have a ride stand and 2 crash stands. So that's what I started doing just so I could have those sounds available.
Yeah.
And it's so
you still play on Broadway?
Very, 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 very rarely. I used to play on Broadway 4 days a week.
Wow.
And I got burnt out.
Yeah, I can imagine.
They burn out on it.
Because it's 4 hours a day, right?
A session, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. And there's guys that do doubles and triples, which means they're playing.
Or a shift, maybe they call it a shift, I think.
Yeah. There's guys that will do doubles or triples, doing 8 hours or 12 hours. I can't. I was good to do 4 hours. I can't do that. And again, unless it's like 90s country, what I really grew up on, that's what I know. If you call a 90s song or an 80s song or early 2000s song, I'll know it. If it's any of the new stuff, I have no idea.
Yeah.
So how does it work when you're down there playing a shift? And could you be repeating songs?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. If someone comes up and requests a song and tips for it, yeah, you could play a song a couple times throughout a set.
Yeah.
Okay.
You definitely could. Or if you're playing, you could. Broadway has become, and I don't think I'm wrong when I say this, it's become such a overload. Because used to, when I did it, you had, Legends Corner, you had Second Fiddle, you had the stage on Broadway. The club was called the Stage. Each one of those had one stage inside of it on the ground floor, and that's where you. Now there's a second floor, and there's a third floor, and all these, and there's a rooftop, and all of these have stages and music going. And you walk down Broadway now, and it is such a sonic overload. It's like, good God, where's all? It's you can't tell who's doing what, and I just don't. I'd rather teach. I'd rather be in the privacy, and and again, I love playing drums, and if the right person calls, and if someone I know, and it's music that I know, that I don't have to sit there and learn, like you said earlier, you had 150 songs that you said earlier. I don't want to have to do that. Not for what it pays, and not for playing for tips. And, sometimes if you have an afternoon shift, you're playing for the chairs, and it's like a paid rehearsal. And it's like, there's no real, you don't really get anything from it. You're just, you're just there. And I don't like that. I like to be a little bit more productive. And, maybe, I don't know, maybe I shouldn't be that way, but over time, I'm older. I just have no desire to go fight the traffic and pay a ridiculous amount of money to park and schlep all my gear down there and play for 4 hours to people that are not really even paying attention, and they're drunk, or they come up, play a wagon wheel again, or play, you always have the idiots that yell Freebird.
Right.
Yeah.
It's not funny anymore.
It's just a meme at this point.
And people will do that at a Mark Will show. They'll yell Freebird, and Mark's like, Freebird? We got 12 of them up here for you. It's just, we got 12 of them up here for you.
You want a Freebird? All right, guys, here we go. 1, 2,
we got a flock of those for you. James says he has the 10-inch Roctagon Splash.
Ah.
Yeah.
James, we need to talk.
And I ordered the HHX 12-inch Splash, the brilliant one.
Okay.
That's what I got coming.
I used to have a lot of brilliant finish cymbals. And you do, I know you said you want something that's going to cut a little bit more. Yeah. And man, you really get, this one's brilliant. This one here, they don't make it anymore. This is the Chester Thompson Liquid Ride, 22 inches. I've had this since college, so over 25 years.
Wow.
And this is by far my favorite ride cymbal of all time. It can do everything.
It's a 22, you said?
22. It's a medium weight. It's his second signature ride. The first one that they made was a heavyweight, and it had a lot of ping and a real strong bell. This one's got a really good bell on it, and this one's got a lot of good wash on it, and you can actually crash into it a little bit as well.
Okay. Yeah.
But I have both. I have his original one and this one both, but it's by far my favorite ride. But there's I've got a bunch of rides. The Evolution ride is good. I've got the 21-inch Evolution over there. I've got a 22-inch Legacy that's also really good. And then my wife surprised. I've got the Phil Collins limited edition Raw Bell Dry Ride. And then my wife surprised me a couple years ago for Christmas and got me a ride cymbal. Larry London was another big drumming influence for me. He died in '92. Actually, him and Porcaro both died the same month.
Oh, wow.
And Sabian did a Larry London signature ride just for a very brief time after he passed away. And my wife surprised me for Christmas a couple years ago and got me one. Found one online, and it is in mint condition. All the logos are great. It's not in, I've got it in a bag over here, and I'll pull it out. And it's a brilliant fit, and it's got a lot of ping and just very, very bright and articulate. Can't talk
yeah. Yeah.
But I every once in a while I'll pull it out. So
nice. Brice, we've been talking for 2 hours. Look at that.
It's crazy.
I can't 2 hours.
I think we should continue.
Dango said I talked to Dango not long ago, and Dango said, man, he said it's like about a 2 hour thing. I said, okay. He's like, dude, it goes by. He said, you won't even know it's been 2 hours.
Yeah.
and holy, yeah. Dango,
yeah.
I can't believe it's been 2 hours.
Yeah.
So,
quick question. James wants to know what number Larry London ride.
Ooh, I can tell you.
We're gonna find out right here. Ooh, it's got plastic. It's shiny.
It is 248.
248. There's your answer, James.
Number 248, right there.
How many were made?
I don't know.
248.
I don't know.
At least not many, right?
The Phil Collins one that I have, they only made 2,000 of them because it was the year 2000 when they made them.
Oh,
Wow.
okay.
And the Phil Collins one, it was all for charity. The Phil Collins one I have is 1525, I think, is the Phil Collins one I've got. And I would have loved to. I got to see Phil on his 2004 final farewell tour that Chester played on. I flew to Chicago to see it, and I missed meeting Phil by 5 minutes. I went back to the show, and yeah, there's not very many people that I would really want to meet, but I've always, ever since I was a kid, I've loved Phil Collins. I'd love to meet him, but it did not happen. I would have loved to have him sign something, but
yeah. James says he had 451 and sold it to John Dietrich.
Wow.
And I don't know if John still has it or not. I think John sold all of his stuff when he moved down to Nashville a couple of years ago.
Oh no.
So, but wow,
man,
and that's funny. James and I know a lot of the same people. So I know John.
I bet.
And then the other mutual friend that James and I have is Joe Smith from Sawyer Brown. Joe has been a mentor to me forever, and I know that they go way back as well. So yeah, it's cool because I know these guys, and you've got that mutual acquaintance thing going on. So it's really cool.
Yeah, it's awesome. Well, I think we should continue this conversation in a few weeks in Nashville, Mary.
Yeah,
what do you think?
For sure. Yeah.
I'd be good with that.
Yeah. Well, I got your number, so let's hang out. If it works out, that would be great.
Yeah, for sure.
I can do that.
Dango said the same thing. He's like, let's get together. So
maybe we can.
All three of us.
Yeah, all of us.
Yeah.
Well, Dango and I usually, it's with touring and everything else going on. Dango and I usually get together in December every year for lunch. And I'll have like the other one that I get together with. Like I said last week, I had lunch with Brian Prout last week. Brian Prout and Micah Schweinberg. Micah is the current drummer for Diamond Rio. When Brian retired a few years ago, Micah's who came in, and the three of us, we had lunch last year in December. We had lunch last week, and we said, "When are we doing this again?" Brian said, "We're definitely doing this again. This is going to be our twice a year dinner, our twice a year lunch. So we'll meet again in December before Christmas." So.
That's so cool. Brice, thank you again for coming on the Drummergy podcast.
Yeah.
Thank you for
the audio for this up will be available in the next couple of days on Spotify, Apple Music, and Amazon Music.
All those places.
Apple Podcasts. Yes. Yep. And I don't know what we're doing next week. What are we doing next week, producer?
I don't know. You're the one who schedules it.
We'll figure it out in the next couple days.
When are we getting Tanner back?
Oh yeah, we should get Tanner back on the show. All right, hang out for 1 second, Brice. We're going to end this stream, and thanks guys for joining in, and we'll see you next week.
Thank you all.
Thank you. See ya.